Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we're still smoking the TWD Indica at THC 20%. It's a nice smoke. It keeps me nice and level, I guess you could say. I talked about it more on the last podcast. But yeah, it's lasted me a while, and it's a relatively inexpensive weed. So if you're in Canada at a dispensary, look for TWD Indica. That's all the packaging says. They're an affordable company, so their prices are a little bit lower than some of the other guys. And I was honestly surprised at how good this was. So yeah, try it out. And again, I will reiterate this. I've said it before. I don't get paid by any of these places to talk about this stuff. I just figured this is part of the podcast. I'll smoke a bowl, tell you what I think of it, whether it's good or not. And yeah, we could see how it goes from there. So that's that. Now, here's my question for you. Why do you smoke weed? What purpose do you smoke weed? I know, or for what purpose do you smoke weed? Do you do it medically because you have some ailments that you need to take care of, or you have some, more serious things going on that, weed helps with? Or do you just smoke it just to get high, man? I want to know. I really do. I want to try to get some interaction going. So don't forget, I have a website. Well, I have a website too, but I have an email, thoughtsoffthestempodcast@gmail.com. Email me. Tell me what you guys think of this stuff. Tell me if you want me to talk about something specifically. And tell me why you smoke weed. I'd love to know. I'm always curious to see why people do the things that they do. So I'll tell you why. I started smoking weed. I started smoking weed because I played basketball all the fucking time. That was like my sport growing up. I love that shit. I was all in it. I was pretty good at it. I played all through, grade school and high school, and then near the end of high school, I was playing rep for my city as well. So it was basketball overload. And by the time I hit 17, I had seen all these guys around me smoking weed and having a good time at parties. And, I drank. My parents would buy me booze and stuff and let me go to the party with it. And, yeah, I had a good time here and there. Which also brings me to a point. I don't drink gin. Because at the same time that I started to smoke weed, I started to get more into partying. So that was my real purpose for starting to smoke weed. I had seen some buddies who had smoked weed, and they looked like they were having a good time. They were always laughing and, giggling and goofing around at parties, and they just seemed to be having a really good time. And I played basketball all the time, so my schedule was pretty strict. I was always on 6 a.m. wake up. I either had practice in the morning or, practice in the morning, practice in the evenings, probably twice in the evenings, one for school, one for rep. And then every weekend there was always games. Sometimes I'd have to play a school game and then go play rep games the next couple hours later. So by the time I hit 17, I was pretty burnt out on basketball. And at some point, I decided that was enough. I wanted to party. Man, that was a bad move. I probably could have been. So I probably could have played ball in Europe had I kept going with basketball. But I didn't. I chose the weed. So. So one night, I've told this story. I won't tell the whole story again, but I told this story on the first time I smoked weed. So one night I decided to smoke weed with my buddies, and it was awesome. It was a great time. And from there, I didn't start smoking all the time, but it slowly bled into my life. So when I first started smoking when I was, I think, 17 or just about, 17. I was 17, and it started one weekend I did it, and then a couple months later, did it again. Then a couple months later, did it again until finally it became once a month, then every weekend or every couple weekends until now. I smoke it all the time. But originally when I started smoking it, I just smoked it to get fucking balls high, have a good time, giggle my fucking ass off, and laugh at stupid shit like when people say poop. That was the whole purpose. There was no hey, weed's medical or it does anything for you. It was strictly to get blood out. And if I mixed it with alcohol, it was great because I needed less of each thing to get super fucking fried. So I started doing that instead of playing basketball. And yeah, it went on that way for a long time. I just constantly smoked to get high. It was all recreational use. And then I think I was about 30 years old when I'm not proud of this, okay? But I was working at Home Depot. And like, I'm pretty physical. Like I said, I played basketball. I always played sports when I was a kid. So like, I was always physical. So lifting heavy shit was not a problem for me. At least I didn't think it was. Till I started working at Home Depot. And this one night, I'm cleaning up the flooring section. So I'm moving like these 10 or 15 pound cases of tile. Nothing very heavy, all right? But I guess over years and years of fucking incorrect lifting, I fucked up my back. So I pick up this tile and like no problems, nothing, no like I didn't have a ping in my back where there was like a shooting pain and then all of a sudden I dropped or anything like that. No, I just picked up this tile. I was fine. I walked like 5 feet and then all of a sudden the center of my back just gave out, just went. It was gone. And I dropped to my knees and I was like, oh shit, I can't move right now. I mean, I could still feel my legs and stuff, but I couldn't stand straight, right? So obviously I was at work, so I had to fill out, a WSIB form and stuff. So we did that. Then I was off work for a couple weeks. I went to physiotherapy. They gave me a bunch of like back pills and pain pills and all this stuff, right? And I took one back pill one time. And I was like, fuck that, I'm never taking it again. Because all it did was totally mask the pain. Like, you were still fucked up, but you could walk, which was totally fucked up to me. And I personally reacted poorly to that pill because I was fucking high as balls. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was repeating myself constantly. People would ask me stuff. I'd give them answers to different questions. Like, yeah, I was fucked up from these pain pills that the doctor prescribed. So at this point, I'd already been smoking weed. So I figured, fuck it, I'm just going to try and smoke some more weed or get like a different type of weed and see if that helps. So at the time, I knew somebody that was getting medical cannabis. They had a medical card. So I asked them if they could find and source out some medical weed that was specific for back pain. And sure enough, she did it. She found me some. And man, that stuff was great because it, like, as much as you get high, if you're in a certain amount of pain, you only get high to a certain level because that pain will override that high. But if you do it right, if you stay on top of the pain, if you before it really starts to hurt, you get some of that medication in you or even like a little bit of weed in you, then you can be okay with that pain. But you won't overdo it. And I found with the back pills, I was totally overdoing it all the fucking time. Like, not with the pill itself, but just in like the fact that I couldn't feel the pain in my back. So I'd bend over, I'd be moving around relatively quickly when I shouldn't have been. I should have been taking it slow. And that was the difference. When I took weed to deal with the back pain, it wasn't, I don't know, what am I trying to say here? So, brain fart, hold on, sip of coffee, that'll help. So with the weed, I didn't forget that my back was fucked up. With the pill, I would forget that my back was fucked up, potentially fucking it up even more because, I would, like I said, overexert myself because I felt fine when I really wasn't fine. Whereas the weed would let you know, like, hey, you're fine, you're okay, but you're not fine. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I started out just as a recreational user, trying to find like a good thing to do on the weekend and party and hang out, like, and talk a bunch of shit, it eventually evolved into realizing that like, oh, this stuff actually also can help me medically. Now, I don't have an ailment where like, I don't have depression, so I can't speak to whether or not it helps with that. But I could say that when I've been in bouts of depression from like my separation or when I had surgery and I was down and out, weed sort of helped me develop my mentality, my mindset around positivity versus, sinking into like that negative, everything's fucked up feeling. So I could say for that part of it, it's, for that part of mental health, that growth, that progression, it's great. For back pain and stuff like that, it's great. For other ailments, I don't know. I know that, for example, my mom, she had breast cancer. And this was relatively recently, like within the last, I think, year, she's been sort of going through the things. So she had everything done, and I recommended in the beginning that she should take some CBD oil because it apparently helps, with like the radiation and the chemo and stuff like that, whatever you have to do, it helps sort of regulate that. And it also can potentially, I don't know for sure because I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me, but it can potentially also help with beating cancer. So when I first told her about it, she was dead ass against it. No fucking way she was going to do it. So she went through her stuff. Everything was fine. She was all, she got rid of the cancer. She was good, or she's good now. So everything worked out. But after she got through dealing with the cancer and dealing with the the radiation and the chemo, then she started taking the CBD. Because I can't remember why, but I think she was having some anxiety or something, and I recommended taking CBD. So she doesn't want to take weed. She didn't want to take CBD or THC, and she doesn't want to smoke it. She wants to take it in like drops or a tea or whatever. So that's what she ended up buying, was taking a tincture, a thing of drops and a thing of tea. She said the tea didn't work as well as the drops did, but she said the drops really helped with managing the anxiety and I guess some of the pain that she was feeling from, being poked and prodded and whatever. So there's definitely reason to use it medically, even if you start out using it recreationally. But it's kind of funny how that works out, because like I feel like with like painkillers, it goes the opposite way. It goes the opposite way, where you take the painkiller medically and you just end up using it recreationally. You fucking reverse that shit. That's kind of fucked up. What do you think about it? It's that, and then it's even when you take, so when you look at it from that point of view of like, okay, so you use this thing recreationally to find an escape, right? But then it bleeds into like, oh my God, it's got all these other good properties to help your overall wellness, right? Your health and your overall being. That's pretty fucking awesome. And it becomes that. And then you start to realize, as a kid, you had this total misconception because too many people were telling you sort of the wrong information about it. They were categorizing this sort of like holistic plant and this holistic vibe into a narcotic, like a real, like you could take cocaine and within, I don't know what it, like 36 hours, let's say, it's out of your system for sure. So like you could beat drug tests at work and stuff like that. But with weed, you can't. You can't do that because it's fat soluble. So it stays in your fat cells depending on your metabolism, your body fat, your percentage of body fat, and how often you do physical exercise, right? So it can stay in your system even if you're a fit, healthy person up to 90 days. So that means if you smoked a joint on the weekend to deal with like a sore back that you earned at work, and say you got a surprise drug test on Monday, you fail that fucking drug test, which is bullshit because you're not high at the time, and then I don't know. It's just kind of stupid that a plant can be classified as something as dangerous as these fucking, opioids or back pills. Like that thing took away all the fucking pain. There was no pain. I literally went from, crawling on my hands and knees to go to the bathroom in the morning, taking this pill in the, as I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm popping this pill. And then by the time I'm done taking my morning shit, I'm fucking walking around the house like it was nothing. You're trying to tell me that's not fucked up? That's fucked up. Whereas if I wake up like that in the morning, I smoke a joint, and yeah, it still takes me about 15, 20 minutes to get mobile again. But after smoking the joint, it feels more like a stretch rather than just all like miracle cure. It's fucking weird, man. And I like it. So I'm proud to say that I smoke weed for two different reasons. I smoke it on one as an escape sometimes because it's fun to just, light yourself up and have a few beers and, laugh your ass off with your buddies. Then at the same time, it's also nice to know that that same thing can provide you with a little bit of relief to whatever it is that's ailing you. I don't know, man. That's just my thought. That's my thought for today. This TWD indica stuff, seriously, there's no other name on it, which is baffling to me. But anyway, this stuff makes you really fucking introspective. Makes you think about shit that you wouldn't normally think about. And it also gives you this nice little because I've been working, you know what that is. This nice level, laid back feeling. It's a nice feeling. And I've started working out again. And I'm trying to get back to, I worked out a lot before, and I could lift 40 pounds with like curling one hand, right? 40 pounds in each hand. And when I took a few months off and did literally nothing. And then I went to go do it again, and I couldn't do 40 pounds, and I didn't hurt my back, but I'm definitely more sore than I think I should be. So I've been smoking weed to work out with because I find that it helps me stay focused and find a deeper connection to the body parts that I'm working out, I guess. But it also, at the end of the workout, I've been smoking it too because it helps alleviate that tension in my back because I get a lot of lower back tension. So what I'm saying is I use it for two different purposes. And depending on what's going on, depending on the mood, kind of depends on what I'll smoke. So like if I'm really sore from a workout, I'll go to Purple Kush right away because that stuff is a nice body buzz and it just levels me out nicely. And if I want to party, like have a good time, joke around with friends, have a few beers and say it's definitely a sativa. I mean, that sage and sour stuff was pretty good, so maybe that stuff. But I would recommend, but again, I'm not a doctor, so don't take any of what I say as like you should do this. I'm saying that you should talk to a doctor about doing this. If you're going to use cannabis as a way to deal with any kind of ailment or medical issue, then talk to your doctor. But I have found it definitely beneficial for different things. And I know that a lot of people that I talk to, that I smoke with, I don't think I know one person. I might know one, maybe two people out of, not even like two handfuls of people, 12 people or so, 2 out of 12 will smoke weed for recreational purposes and no other purpose. And then most of the other people I know will smoke for all the reasons. they'll smoke recreationally, and they'll also smoke to fix problems. And that's my thought off the stem for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys keep coming back. I hope you join me every Friday for a new session at 4:20 p.m. on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find a podcast. It's out there. And don't forget to check out the merch, teespring.com/stores/TOTS420. And until next time, smoke your joints. Do your dabs. Don't know why I'm doing this like this. And enjoy yourselves. Stay lifted and have a good one. We'll talk to you next Friday.